Hello, everyone. Good day to you. If you are in and you are okay, you are happy, send a message. Let me know. Let me know what's happening. Allow me to know how it's going with you. This is a live streaming section, and I will so much encourage that we have we have the best setup around us so as to be able to present ourselves the best. All right. So if you would maybe uh, help your background to be better, if there's something you could do about your background, I'm going to work around that here too. Just to make your background cool. If you need to maybe sit up, you need to probably like stabilize your camera. You need to uh, do stuff just to make yourself to be a bit seeable. And I want to encourage that everybody should get on camera, please. All right. Um, we are presenting ourselves to a bigger population, and it's a live stream. Right now, we are being currently live streamed, um, and I think uh, we will do ourselves the best to show forth how best we could present ourselves possibly. Is that all right? So appropriate dressing, appropriate uh, background, everything, just to ensure that we are protected in a way. You understand? So if you could help yourself out, I still expect to have more people on camera. It's live currently. It's not recorded yet. But if you can just take a seat or maybe just do something that will make your environment to be nice, to be good looking. Is that all right? Um, so while we are doing that, let's begin to. I'm going to paste the YouTube link on this platform now. So what you will need to do now, invite your friends using the YouTube link. Is that all right? I will paste the YouTube link on the chat now. So all you just need to do, just copy that link and begin to send to your friends, as many as are ready for the class. Let me remind our personal students. If you have to put it on your wall, uh, okay. If you have to put it on your wall, please do. So you cannot send the Zoom link around, but you can send the YouTube link around, because we are meant to have people to watch us on YouTube. Is that right? So we can begin to send the link everywhere, anywhere. We're live on YouTube, and right now we only have 3 people. We only have 3 people watching. So which means if you are on Zoom, you don't have to be on YouTube. Is that right? If you are on Zoom, you don't have to be on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you don't have to be on Zoom. Do you understand? Do you get it now? If you're on Zoom, you don't have to be on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, you don't have to be on Zoom. Is that right? So let's publicize the link, because a lot of people may be asking, where is the link? Where is the link? What's the link? etc. So if you're on Zoom, no need to go on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, no need to go on Zoom. And please, if you're on YouTube and you are hearing my voice, can you make a comment if the audio is clear, if the video is clear? Let me know if everything is okay with the YouTube page, so that if there's anything to change, we can work around it. Is that all right? So by 10 on the dot, we're going to start up the recording. Few things I wanted to say is, number one, I want to encourage that everybody goes on video. And number two, let your background be the best possible. Number three, begin to send the link to your friends right now. Begin to send the links to your friend right now, as many as are in. Begin to send to your friend right now. Let's begin to push this to them quickly. The links. We need to raise the awareness very strongly, so that as many as possible can join in very quickly. I'm thinking, could we do a Facebook Live also? Should we try a Facebook Live too? Let me see if that could work. If you could try a Facebook, anything can happen. So let me see if we could try I think it's late. Looks late. All right. Doesn't appear as if we can. All right. So it looks to me that we cannot try a Facebook at the same time. All right. So many people are still not on video yet, and I'm waiting for us. Please, if we can get on video, please let's do. Uh, let's do everything we can. If you can get on video, let's do. Let's go. Let's paste the stuff everywhere that we can paste it. All right. Please, if you're on YouTube now, I want to ask you from your opinion, is it clear? Is it okay? Can you hear my voice? Is everything clean? Are there concerns? Please, if you're on YouTube and you can hear me, can you send the message? I can't hear you, sir. Hold on. Is it everyone? Is there anyone that's not hearing me? Please let's talk. Oh, let's help me. Is everybody hearing me? Is everybody hearing me now? Is anybody currently on YouTube and is also here too? And is YouTube clear? All right, I can see the chat. I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you. That's very good. So I can see that people can hear me. All right, very good. So I think we are good to go now. We are getting set. Thank you very much for the responses so far. I can hear you loud and clear. Okay. You should not stop sending the link as much as possible. I believe we need as many people as we can to be part of this, because some people will still say they are not aware. I did my best to publicize this on all the platforms that I can publicize it, possibly publicize it on from my own perspective. And I encourage that you try to invite 10 persons. Okay, right. So today we are going to be having a class on writing. There will be two classes today actually. The first class is going to be on writing tax 1, and I'm going to be taking writing tax 1 for 30 minutes. I'll be splitting it into pieces. I'll be telling you the different pieces that we are splitting it into, and then we will now move over ahead into the other aspects of the class, which is how to pass IELTS at one sitting. How to pass IELTS at one sitting. In that class, I will be trying to see if I could invite, you know, any of the persons that have recently passed the exams on what they probably could let us know. But then I will also tell us what I believe you can do to be able to sit for IELTS once and then pass once. So I will do my little best in a way to ensure that we are able to engage those persons to speak to us from a perspective of experience. I had one of my students, I said this sometimes ago, she had to write this exam 11 times. It was a major battle. I don't know how it feels like because I only wrote it 5 times. So I cannot tell you I cannot tell you her experience, you know. But I can tell you that it is not easy. Even the 5 times I had to write the exam, it was not easy. So I know exactly how it feels like when somebody, fails once. I can tell, you know, uh, how it looks like. Okay, so some people will share their experiences. I will try and invite the lady that wrote it 11 times if you will be happy to speak about what she went through and the strategies that she had to involve if she will be able to talk about it. Okay, so quick one. We are starting at the dot of 10. Okay, and we are going to be having splitted classes. It's going to be we are going to be having writing tax 1 in 5 classes. But today I want to be careful with tax 1. My aim with tax 1 is to ensure that anyone that listens to me today understands me. Did you understand? I have found out that most people are not able to understand me. I seem to, be able to express myself, but not many people are able to understand me. It's one of the most painful experiences that I've had to go through when it comes to IELTS, where you have a strong conviction that you are saying something, but the people that are listening to you, they are telling you they don't even know what you are saying. And so after today's class, one thing you will experience is that you will be able to know what to do, okay, to be able to pass IELTS at one sitting. So I want to start now. Let me get back on. I want to start now. So welcome to IELTS Writing Task 1 class. It's such a great privilege to be assessed with the opportunity to teach on how to pass IELTS Writing Task 1. Before I move into the nitty-gritty, Writing Task 1 happens to be in two shades. I'll be making use of my whiteboard, as I've discovered that it often helps a lot with explanation. So we have two shades of Writing Task 1. All right. The first shade is called the IELTS Writing Task 1 Academic. IELTS Writing Task 1 Academics. And the second shade is called IELTS Writing Task 1 General. Okay, so this is the first shade, IELTS Academics. Okay, for Writing Task 1 Writing. And then the second shade is IELTS General. Okay, for Task 1 Writing. Okay, now these two shades are totally different from each other. Totally different. Now, if you are writing IELTS Academics, you are going to be given a totally different question from if you are writing IELTS General. Are you following me? If you are writing IELTS Academics, it's totally different from when you are writing IELTS General, because in IELTS Academics, you will be given a totally different question. And what's the different question? It's called analysis. Okay, I call it T1A. TIA. That's Task 1 Academics. Whereas in IELTS General, you are given letter writing. Alright, I call that one C1G. Alright, so we have Task 1 Academics and we have Task 1 General. So that is the only aspect of IELTS that is absolutely different in model of question. Every other thing is the same. For example, for IELTS General, you are going to be listening to the same questions and answering the same questions. For Task 1 reading, you'll be listening to the same pattern of questions, but not the same questions. However, Task 1 reading, for example, for general has more generalized kinds of questions than academics, which is usually more abstract. But the same pattern of questions, the same model of questions. You have multiple choice, you have matching headings, you have all kinds of the same pattern, the same model, but not the same questions. For speaking, exact same questions. And for writing, for Task 2 writing, exact same questions. But when it comes to Task 1 writing, they are different. One is what? Analytic. And the other one is what? Letter writing. Say it again. Letter writing. Alright, so let us know the difference. Now listen to me carefully. When you come to letter writing, you will be made to believe that you don't have to have added pressure on your mind. It's not just to pick a sheet of paper and write, hello, I am Mr. Shola, and I want to tell you about. So there are some intricacies about IELTS Task 1 General letter writing that you need to be acquainted with. Alright? And so for those of us who are writing IELTS General Task 1 writing,
you will need to be aware of those intricacies. I will mention a little of them today, and I will continue the next class. My intention is to be able to have a balanced approach to IELTS and academic task 1, such that those people that are writing academics will not feel that they are abandoned. At the same time, those who are writing general do not feel that they are abandoned. So I will always start with I general to say a few things about it, then in just few minutes before moving to IELTS academics. So do you understand the difference right now? One is analytic and analyzing data, while the second one is simply writing a letter. So today I will be talking about the types of letter you are exposed to in IELTS writing. The types of letters that you are exposed to in IELTS writing. So let me just go to this. If you see my code, understand LWC1G. That means letter writing task 1 general. So don't say what does that mean? Alright. So the types of letter you write. Let me just talk about that quickly, and I'll now talk about the different stages in writing letter, the phases in writing letter. I'll just talk about that briefly. We now move to analysis. Okay. First kind of letter you write is informal letter. Of course, you know that one. That's the letter you write to a family or a friend about a particular issue. Alright, a informal letter. Then you have complaint letter. That's when you buy something and then you are not happy about what you bought and you wanted to a refund or whatever it is. Then you have inquiry letter. That is, you want to ask a question about a particular thing that you are not aware about and you wanted them to give explanation about it. And then you also have letter for employment. That is, you want that letter to be employed in a particular place. You are trying to request for an employment, or you are requesting for a placement in a particular job. Okay, there's a job letter, something like that. So these are the kind of letters you write. Okay. Now the difference between the informal letter and the formal letter is two. There are two differences. And then the two differences are what I call them the salutation and the endings. Alright. So for informal letter, salutation, let me just call that IL. You use the word I or hello. Okay. Whereas for the other three letters, this one is complete. It should be 1M. Other three letters, which are return formal letter, FL. You use dear sir or madam. Now, in dear sir or madam, you may write the exact name if you know the person's name. Dear Mr. So and so, or dear so and so, or dear, you mention the exact name if you know it. Alright, so name can be mentioned. Now, when you are ending your letter, you end letter with something like yours something. Okay, like yours faithful or yours. You get my point? What I mean yours. So like, so that salutation. I mean that ending now. Ending. All right. So for IL, you can end with cheers or regards or you know, a bit simpler one. But when it comes to FL, you end with something like yours sincerely. Now use yours sincerely when you mention the name. Is that right? Name mentioned. And then you use yours faithfully when you do not mention the name. Is that right? Yours sincerely when you mention the name, and yours faithfully when you do not mention the name at the salutation. Okay? At salutation. names not mentioned. So I would like to stop here now as it relates to um, letter writing. But in the next class, I'll be talking about the different stages of letter writing. Okay, the introduction, the body one, the body two, and then the conclusion. I'm talking about the different stages. What do you write in your introduction? What do you write in your body one? What do you write in your body two? What do you write in your body three? That will be the next phase, which is going to hold tomorrow. All right. So, having said this, I would like to move to what I call IELTS academic tax 1 writing. IELTS academic tax 1 writing. But before I move on, I'd like to ask if you are following me. Are you following me? If you are following me, just send a yes. Give me a give me a sign, give me a picture, or show me a signal that you are actually following me. Is that all right? So, so let me know if you are following me. If you are following me, just give me a sign. And are you flowing with the class? Are you flowing with the class? Are you flowing with the class? Now, some people will say, let us just jump ahead and do academics. But you may write IELTS general later. You know, some of you may decide to change it. You may decide to go to Canada. You get my point now. You may decide to go to Canada tomorrow, and then you will need IELTS general. So it is not a waste of knowledge. I like you to take it as a privilege to be able to have access to this teaching. Don't see it as a waste of time. Even though you are not writing IELTS general, you may need it in the future. And this teaching is going to be very, very useful for you at the time that you eventually get to need it. Do you understand me? So let us enjoy everything together. So I'm moving on to IELTS academics. Now listen to this carefully. Somebody told me that he believes that IELTS general is more difficult. You know, I laughed. Now, because I used to think that IELTS academics is more difficult. And he was able to analyze the reason why he thinks so. And what was the reason that the person gave to me? The person said that in IELTS academics, you have a clear information of what you want to write staring at you. All you need to do is just interpret it into words. Whereas in IELTS general, you have to frame and you have to almost scan your brain to be able to pick exact words. And I thought that it was true. This thing is true, which means IELTS academics writing tax 1 is more simpler than IELTS general. Now, that's an hypothesis, but you will find out as we move on. How many of us want me to confirm that hypothesis? You want me to prove that? Because some will say, let us be frank, Jare. It's really not letter writing. Just write a letter. How are you? What is your name? But truly speaking, by the time we move on with IELTS general, you discover that it is more intricate. There is a bit of more technicality that you must understand that may actually make it a bit more difficult. So let's go on with let's go ahead and make the proof. All right. So the first thing that I like to say about IELTS academics is that you are going to be given access to some kinds of data. So let us quickly see my famous whiteboard. I love it so much. It makes my work to be so beautiful. So I don't have to struggle to express myself at all. All right. So let's see if we can do some little teaching on IELTS. So the first thing is that you are to IELTS academic tax one writing. All right. So the first thing about it is that data analysis. All right. That there are 5 kinds of data that you are encouraged to analyze. 5. 1. Charts. Now you have different kinds of charts. Okay. You have pie. You have uh okay line, and then you have bar. So we have 3 kinds of charts: chart, pie, line, and what? And bar. And then you have tables. Okay. Then you have maps. Then you have processes, and then diagrams. Now, so this diagram is usually least is the least expressed for tax one. You usually find the first 4 more than the last one, but usually the most common of all of these charts, all of this is called the charts. All right. Now, overall, there are two types. There are 2 types of analytic data. Now, data analyzed can be in 5 forms. Let me correct that. So this is forms of data. I want to, as much as possible, make you clear with this, so that we don't make different forms of data. So it can come in form of a chart, and come in form of a table, and come in form of a map, and come in form of a process, and can come in form of diagram. But there are 2 types. Now note this carefully. There are 2 what? Types. All right, of data. Number one is called static data, and number 2 is called movement data. Now, listen to me very carefully at this juncture. Movement data. Number 1 is static data. Number 2, movement data. Now, in static data, it has to do with fixed timing.
So I'm continuing on this platform because the system went off. Now, static data has to do with fixed timing. Why the system gets back? Let me continue on this form. Fixed timing implies that the data does not have a time of measurement, or has only one time of measurement referred to. Get that clearly. Number 1, data does not have a time of measurement, or it has only one time of measurement referred to. Again, let me say the third time. Data does not have a time of measurement, or it has only one time of measurement referred to. Now, if you look at that statement, I'd like you to be open in your mind, so that if you see any form of question that depicts this particular statement, you simply do what? You simply do what? You go for that. Don't ever allow yourself to be confused by the way any question is presented to you, whether the data is in form of a chart, map, process, diagram, or table. Listen carefully. As long as there is only one timing, are you following me, that is involved, and the time does not cross another timing. For example, maybe the timing is only focused on is focused on 1995. Doesn't go beyond 1995. And then they're not talking about any other time apart from that. Or the time does not go beyond a particular month or a particular year or a particular minute. As long as the time does not move from a particular point to another, that timing is called static. That kind of data is called static data. It doesn't care, it doesn't matter what form, whether it is a map or not a map, or a chart or not a chart, whichever the case may be. As long as there's no crossing over, there's no reference that this particular thing happened within another year, or it happened within a number of years, and it's just one particular time, or there was no mention of time at all. Do you understand what I'm trying to say now? Because if you don't understand this principle, you will be forced to assume that maybe it is only applicable to a kind of data, whereas it is not true. It will happen to any kind of data. Do you understand me? Are we together, please? So, having said this aspect, I'd like to move to the second kind of data, which is called movement data. Now, as the word implies, that move that they mentioned is referring to time movements. That word move that you saw there is referring to what? Time that moves. So whether it is a map that has a past and then a present, or a present and a future, or it is a process that is moving from a particular stage to another, or it is a table that was being referred to over a period of years, or it is a chart that is being referred to over a period of whatever kind of reference, as long as there is a movement. Are you following me? And the movement is very spelled out, it's clearly spelled out, then it is called movement data. Now, this particular thing I'm saying is so important that you need to take special cognizance of it. Like very special cognizance, as a way to stabilize your level of knowledge growing into IELTS. And as a matter of fact, even if you see some data, I will strongly encourage that you take it as a point of duty to try to find out what kind of data, what type of data is this. You must not see a static data and call it a movement data. That will be colossal accident. Or you see a movement data and you now call it a static data. That will be monstrous catastrophe. Now, don't write that in the exam because that's the first question. Where do you see monster here? All right. So get it clear and do not make that mistake of misconstruing a particular type of data to another Now, there's this very confusing data that used to make people to be confused. Is a bar chart. They will now show that in that bar chart, there is a movement from a particular month to another over a year. So a year is the time reference, but there's a movement from a month to another. So because people believe that movement data must always be year, they will now call that data static. In that process, they confuse the whole issue. So this misconstruing of the first accident that takes place, as simple as it is, in static, in IELTS academic writing, is that people are not able to correctly identify the difference between static data and movement data. Again, people are not able to identify the difference between static data and what? And movement data. And so once you are able to do that, you are already starting to become a guru. Number two that I want to mention is this. Not every type of data or not every form of data is measured. Not every form of data is what? Measured. Whether it is static or movement, there is usually a form of measurement. However, not every type of data is what? Is measured. Again, let me say that again. Not every form of data is what? Measured. If you come to that understanding, what it does for you is that it stabilizes your knowledge. So that when you see a data and you are not seeing a measurement, you are not under pressure. You just write no units. And the measurement is usually in a unit. The unit can be meter, it can be centimeter, it can be kilometer, it can be billions of dollars, it can be percentage, but not every form of data is what? Is, again, not every form of data is what? Is measured. That should settle in your mind. Stabilize. Are we together, please? So this knowledge, these simple things I'm saying, you may not know how serious they are until you meet the questions. But let me now tell you something. Knowing and understanding the principles of writing task 1 may be the only trick you need to destroy it. Now, of course, there are many forms to which you can write it. Are you following me?
But the knowledge of that principle can guide your writing without even having an example. The knowledge of that principle can guide your writing even when you don't have an example. So that is the reason why I'm taking my time to slowly expatiate. We have 1 minute to round up this section, but I'm going to add a 5 minutes extra to be able to push in a few more points so that we can stop today without saturating you too much with information, and then we just add up the few things we get to add. All right. The third thing I want to say about tax 1 academic is that in dealing with the data, you must approach them as groups. Say it again. In dealing with the data, you must approach them as what? As what? As a group. Let me see if I can do some writing quickly. You must approach them as what? As a group. If I can put some things down, maybe that will help. Approach each data at the, let me use the word, at the group preference. At the group preference. Now let me explain this. Now, every data has units of reference. Say that again. Every data has a unit of reference. Can I say it again? Every data has a unit of reference. Number 2, every data, I'm almost sure, has a unit of measurement. That's wrong. Not every data has a unit of measurement. Now get this difference. The first thing I said is that every data has a unit of reference, but not every data has a unit of measurement. Do you understand? Not every data has a unit of measurement, but every data has a unit of reference. Now, if you look at that statement, there is a bit of difference. It's life. Somebody's seeing problems. Go. Are you following me now? Now, the unit of reference for every data is called group. Alright, it's called what? Group or groups. Now, this group can also be called features. It can also be called features. Alright? It can be referred to as what? Features. Now, I want you to begin to picture it in your mind as a preparation to when you confront a question. Before I give you a physical abstract example, let this be playing in your mind. Okay, when I see a data, alright, it is not every data that has unit of measurement. So I may not be expecting to see kilometer in, for example, map may not have kilometer, may not have all this but it has a unit of reference, and the unit of reference is called group of features. So what does this mean? This means that in a data there are specific smaller aspects in that data that you have to reference, you have to look at, you have to pay attention to. Those particular small things on that data is called group. So let us start from charts, for example. So if you see a chart, if you see a chart now, what do you expect to see? Of course, you know, in a chart we have a pie chart, okay, and we have line, and then you have what? Bar. So in a pie chart you see pie. How many of you know meat pie? You know meat pie? Good. Now, meat pie is a presentation of a part of a circle. So that pie is a part of the whole circle, and so which means that a circle is made up of many pies. Do you understand? So each pie is called a percentage. Are you following me now? So in a pie chart, the percentages are usually labeled, and those labelings are called groups. In a line chart, all right, when you see a line chart, what you expect to see is a line. Yeah, you see some lines. You see some lines. Okay. Each of those lines are usually labeled. Those lines are called groups. In a bar chart, those bars are usually what? Labeled, and they are called groups. But because sometimes when they label it, it could be complex. When they label it, it will be looking complex, it will be looking complicated, looking unclear to the examinee. They now decided to give some of these kind of charts that you have difficulty connecting. They give them what I call keys. They give them keys. How many of you have seen that small box when we are doing map in secondary school? You just put one small box like that at the side of the map. They will now split into small pieces. Now this first box is town, is railway. This other box is main road. This other box is, how many of us you saw that box in secondary school when you were doing map? This one is city center. This one roundabout. Exactly. Now, usually they will label each of those lines and charts and bars and pies in a particular color that they will now frame up inside the charts, well, inside the keys, and they will now give the keys one name. So they will give each box in that key a name referring to the lines or the bars or the charts. When you see anything like that, just have it in mind that each of those keys is group. So what I turn into a slang, and the slang is called the group is what? The group is what? Is key. The group is key. Or the groups are the keys. Or the keys are the groups. These are the units of measurement of charts. But truth be told, these keys can also be applied in tables. It can also be applied in processes. It could be applied in maps, where they just draw one small thing and say, you just shade it like this, black shade. That black shade is the road. Then you now put something like white. You now put something like dots inside it. That dotted white is the roundabout. Now, all of those places where they dotted, you just pack all the things that they dotted and convert it to what? To be called your groups. And that's why I say the group is what? Is key. The first and foremost thing about, as I'm rounding up right now, the first and foremost thing about academic writing task 1 is to identify the type of data. Is it static or movement? Second thing that is most important is to identify the unit of measurement. If none, just write none. The third and most important thing, the third most important thing actually is to identify the unit of reference. And the unit of reference is called groups or futures. And that many times the groups of futures are usually identified by a particular box outside that particular data, which is called key. It's called keys. And that's why I said the group is key. Do you understand? Do we understand? So, you see, I will have to stop this now so that we can have a very clear, I'll pause this now, that we can have a very clear principle to our understanding of what we have done so far. First of all, um, we were able to discuss IELTS general, where we talked about certain specific areas, um, dealing, ranging from the type of, the type of letters to some differences in the salutations and the endings. And then we move to talk about IELTS Gen Academics, where we discussed in very simple terms the forms of data, okay, and then we now went ahead to discuss, you know, the the things that you must understand, the things you must understand as a way of as a way of establishing a level of knowledge, in simplicity, things you must understand. So I went from the most important thing to know to the most important thing you must know to the least important thing you must know. But I've not got to the end. First of all, I talked about one, which is knowing the type of data. I believe everybody understood that. I went ahead to talk about knowing the what now, the unit of measurement. I believe everybody got that, which is what? Knowing the unit, all right, which is what? Group or futures. So if you have established this level of knowledge now, uh, it will be nice for us not to overcrowd ourselves. Rather, we should try out some of these things in reality. And how do you do that? If you can get a simple data, just get a simple data, all right, and then just ask yourself, what type of data is this? Oh, this one looks like static data. Write it down. Okay, what is the unit of measurement? This one does not have unit of measurement. No unit of measurement. Okay, what are the units of reference? Unit of reference, unit of reference. And you now begin to see trees. You see houses. You see church, you see mosque, you see what you just call them groups. You understand? What's the name of this bar? The name of this bar is rice. What's the name of this bar? The name of this bar is fufu. I just try to like do a kind of summary of what you have done so far. And the encouragement I will give you is that you should kindly try to make effort to go ahead and then, try out these skills on some other stuffs. Don't just stay on one spot and say, uh, I've listened to the class. Go ahead and try it out. Go ahead and try it out. Try it out and try it out again and try it out again and try it out again. Is that all right? So I would like to have some questions from the stuff we have asked so far before now, and I'll be having a very short 10-minute section quickly on how to write IELTS once and pass. But while I'm doing that, is there anyone that was able to read my call? You are a member of my class and you passed, but you said you listened to my call to attend this class and you were able to attend. Can I have you just send the message on the chat room so that I can recognize you? And if you want to tell us one or two things in 1 minute, you will be allowed to speak. All right. So while we move on, so far, anybody like that? So tomorrow we continue with IELTS writing task 1. Tomorrow we shall be discussing. We shall move on from where we stopped, and then we will try out a few tests. We'll see some live examples, and then we'll see how we can move it. So, in case you probably are watching from YouTube now, and you want to be part of the continuator, because I won't be this free YouTube section was done in a way to make up for a celebration, basically, which I believe was having to time into this opportunity of having to teach a lot of persons. So I feel I should share this information with a lot of persons. Okay, so if you want to join this class tomorrow, you need to give me a personal chat. I'm putting my number on the wall on the YouTube wall right now in case you get to see the message. You tell me that you are part of the live class, and you'll be happy to continue with the Zoom lectures, especially for IELTS writing task 1 or IELTS generally. All right, it's going to be by 5 p.m. tomorrow, but it's not going to be live streamed. All right, we have to live stream on that time. Okay, so you chat that number. First of all, I'm going to give you a discount, and I've been thinking of giving 20 people 5 gig each. I've been thinking, but you see, the issue I have is that I wasn't sure what the criteria I'm going to use to give. So maybe the first 20 to from the, am I going to give, should I give the, no, I'm going to give people that come in afresh. The people here, we are already enjoying our access together. So if you hear this lecture, for example, on YouTube, and you feel interested to be part of the class, maybe the first 20, they should have 5 gig, maybe. So let's see how it goes. If I'm able to see and there is interest, we will see if we can push that beyond the level of just join the class. And please don't be jealous of this people. All right, I believe we are bigger than that. We are bigger people, but of course they are not lesser, no? Anyway. So quick discussion. Are we still hearing me? Somebody say I'm not hearing again. If I will bring, okay, yeah, it dropped my mind. Yeah, this is what I will do. Now, if you can bring one person that stays, okay, let's do 10. Okay, so the new people that came 10, the people that bring one or two persons each 10. Yeah, so let's do it like that. All right, so here is the deal. If you bring one person, one person not too small. If you make it two, okay, let's start from that one first, because some people never want to put it. Okay, so if you bring one person or two persons, okay, let's say how it goes, and the person stays and get committed to the class, get serious with the class, you have 5 gig. I think that's fair. So 10 people from those that are inside the house, 10 people that are joining for the first. All right, so the first thing that joins from people from people that are watching from YouTube, and first 10 from people that are able to bring to. So what just do for me is this: you talk to the person about during the class. If the person decides to join, and then the person, you tell the person to chat me, and tell the person to mention your name, that you are, I'm from so and so, who is a current member of so and so and so and so. I say, all right, all right, all right. Then, of course, I will link the person, and then I will link you too. So that'll be 5-5. I think that's fair enough. Okay. So let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. So now, quickly, just to round up this section, nobody is. I'm not saying anyone that is talking about wanting to pass the exam and then is part of this class. I'm not saying anyone like that. So let me just talk about how to pass IELTS once or at one sitting. So this is the last part of our class. It's just going to take 10 minutes. By 11 I'm out. All right. How to pass IELTS at one sitting. Now, first thing I want to say is that IELTS is not a knowledge exam. It's not a knowledge-based exam primarily. IELTS is a skill-based exam, which means that you do not have to know much to pass. You only need to repeat in practice what you know over a period of a long or short time, depending on your level of expertise involuntarily ingrained in you before you connected with IELTS. Because there are some people that before they came in contact with IELTS, they have reached a level of expertise in certain areas. For example, some people have the ability to read a lot. They read a lot of books, novels. You know, when was secondary school, some people do competition about reading. They read 500 page book in 2 days. They finish 1,000 page book in 1 day, and then they read overnight. They have been readers. They know how to scan. They know how to skim. And all that. So some people have already reached a level of expertise, and some people are writers. They love to write. They know how to summarize. They know how to do some of these things. So depending on your level of expertise before you connect with IELTS, are you following me now? You might have had some growth, but when you now get to IELTS, you need to now subject your level of knowledge and convert it to skill. While you now connect it with the skill you now require to pass, and that cannot be possible except by the principle of practice. So, which means that knowledge does not win in IELTS. It is skill that wins, but the skill must be connected by practice. Now here is the connection. Some people know, but they don't practice. If you know and you don't practice, you will fail in IELTS. Number two, some people don't know, but they practice. If you don't know and you're not practicing, you're practicing nonsense, you will still fail in IELTS. The kind of people that write IELTS once are people that, number one, they know and they have practiced what they know till they are known by what they have practiced, such that by natural expression they can exhibit that level of skill. This applies to listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So the class is not the secret of success. Go to me anywhere. Coming to IELTS class is not the secret of success. Rather, practicing in very consistent level what you have learned in IELTS class is the real secret of success. Now, note what I just said. Practicing is not the secret also. Rather, consistent practice. Which means you must be able to steady your practice. What that means is that if you know that your own practice level is going to be once in a week, make it consistent. Just that you will not be able to write the exam in 1 month. It could be up to a year before you write the exam. If you know your own level of practice is going to be once in 2 days, steady it. that in 2 days I must practice every time, once in 2 days. If your own practice is going to be 3 times in 2 days, or 1 time in 1 day, steady your practice, stabilize your practice, make your practice consistent. That is the secret. Number 3 principle of writing IELTS once is this: you must evaluate your practice. Some people will just be practicing, and some people practice wrongly. Do you know what I said? They practice what? Wrongly. So because their practice are not evaluated, they feel comfortable with the practice that is wrong. And out of the wrong evaluation, they go for the exam and they fail. So, like I said, correct practice will be evaluated by a coach. And a coach can discern or can predict that what you are doing is correct or not by a few questions. For example, you are doing reading, and while you are doing reading, you are spending 2 hours. That's nonsense practice. You are doing listening, and you are pausing in between. Nonsense practice. Or you are doing reading and you are rewinding. Nonsense practice. Or you are doing writing and your writing is not having useful language. Nonsense practice.
Daddy,
Don't come.
who's doing your class?
I'm almost through. Give me.
No, I will.
I'll give you some time. Thank you. So, do you get my point? If you can be evaluated correctly, okay? If you can be evaluated correctly, you'll be able to take a major step in your level of growth. As a matter of fact, you may not even have a very good score while you are practicing at that level. Your score may be low initially, but your score will grow. And it is better for your score to grow than to be high in practice, and after it is high, you now enter the exam or you now see that you have low score. You understand my point? Yeah. I used to get 42 over 40. You now get 6.5. So where is your 42 now? Because wrong practice. Final issue, the last thing as a round up: emotional stability. Listen to this carefully. The sacrifice that IELTS require is such that there must be homeostasis of emotionality, balanced emotion. If you are carrying a burden in your heart, emotional trauma, consistent confusion, disturbance, anxiety. Hey, reading. Hey, match this. Keep. That person will not pass reading. Simple. It's straight. It's easy and straight. You know, some of my students that have had to confess themselves, they were afraid. If you are confronting IELTS with fear, you can't pass. Sorry to say. The fear must go. And the only way to delete fear is by what? Constant practice. The only way to delete fear is what? Constant practice. That's good. Constant what? Practice. Correct, consistent, constant practice. So, my role every time I try to approach my students is to ensure that they are in the most emotionally stable states to connect with the exams. Many of my personal students they enjoy this a lot. I will not just come and tell you, oh yeah, let's go to reading. I have to ask you questions. How are you today? How's your family? Are you okay? Hope there's no concern. Alright? Mrs. Gladys, if you can chat me after, let's have a conversation. Alright? So, as I round off today, I will not forget to mention the role of prayer, spiritual input. it may look like maybe it's academic something. You just read and no, you see, there is also need to pray. Mm. I want to say something to you today. You don't have to believe it. It's not compulsory to believe. But I want to tell you something. The success of IELTS for many people is a major landmark that is like a password or like a code to their greatness. I am a testimony of that. And I may not be able to give many information, but I can tell you of, yesterday somebody passed the exam. She was afraid. I was afraid too. One result, people don't know. One result is coming. I used to get afraid because I want personals to pass. So, every Friday like this, I used to pray over the night. God help me. I don't want to cry today. I don't want to see nonsense result. I mean, just try to pray and see God have mercy and all that. So this person is not delayed. Ha! I said, God, hope it's not that she's afraid to tell, because most of us don't tell me the result. They just once they see that they say no, I'm not going to. So I was already jittery. 12 o'clock, she's not talking. What's happening now? Are you not checking this thing? Eventually she checked the result and she passed. She said she had a dream. In that dream, she was told that she's going to climb a particular mountain 3 times. And when she woke up, she's like, where this nonsense job? She had the dream second time. What kind of nonsense? So she will have to start praying. I will not climb this mountain. I will climb it once. I will climb it once. I will climb it once. I started praying. She didn't tell me about this thing. I didn't pray with her. I didn't know nothing. All I know was that we had a kind of spiritual conversation earlier that helped her into a level of understanding that broke some things in her life. Now she prayed this prayer, and then the result came. She had, let me see if I can just pick the results. She had 8.5 in speaking. Let me see if I can check the results quickly in 1 minute. Just one brutal result like that. She scattered diets. She had she had 8 in listening, 8 in reading, 7 in writing, and 7.5 in speaking. Overall, 7.5. Yeah, if you ask her, she read a lot. I said yes, she read truly. She told me after the exam, sir, I am afraid. She told me. I once had a student that told me that during her reading, she cannot remember that she knew what she was writing. She was just thinking. I tell you that one other kind of success is 1 of 1 million. So you're just thinking everything. But, they said that she was afraid actually, and so she was just thinking at some point. She had 8 in reading, 8. Now this is not family. It's not a common testimony. Because I say, let me to go and start thinking. If you know the investment they have put in preparations, I know students that in the midnight, 3 a.m., just say, hello, sir. You don't sleep. And I say, you two don't sleep. I say, I thought you were sleeping. So can you help me mark this? 3 a.m. Can you help me mark this? You understand? So, is it when you have invested a lot? Are you following me now? You can pray and you will be sure that the prayer will be answered. But if you don't invest and you are playing, you now say, when this one this later, now say, oh God. Well, I don't know. I can't tell you we will pass anyway. But God could be merciful. But there is this very important spiritual input that can help you a lot to succeed. So I'm rounding up right now. I've not seen any of my students that I feel want to speak, so I don't want to put a pressure on anybody right now. But if you have any question and you want to communicate on you want to talk to everybody, you want your voice to be heard or something, you can just indicate on the. We are through with the meeting already, and I'm stopping the recording. So you have a question, you want to speak about it quickly, you will be given the opportunity to talk about it, to ask the question. Now on our YouTube channel, we have a number. We have a total about 33 people that are watching uh, from from. Wow. Okay. The person I talked about is even on. It's on YouTube. Okay. Glory, do you want to talk? If you want to talk, just come on the. Okay. Um. If I have any of my friends that want to talk, just come on so that I can. If you're online, just indicate. I'll be out of this group in 5 minutes. 5 minutes we are no 5 minutes is almost 3 minutes. Do you have anyone? You have a question? You have any? You want to say something? You want to. You want to. Amen. Thank you. We want to just. Uh, I'm seeing. Okay. I will wait for 2 minutes. If nobody's communicating about any question, we will have to round off. Okay. Akin Glory is here. If you can come online, if you can come live, if you can come on video, I will not be afraid to. Okay. If you can come on video, just speak for 1 minute. Yeah. So I'm asking you to mute. If you can unmute now, she's shy. So you can unmute and then just speak for 1 minute and then we round off. Uh, I asked you to mute, so if you can unmute. Well done. I think it's better to be given practical example as you mentioned static and movement data. No worries about that. We'll do that tomorrow. No worries, we'll do that. All just need to me, just follow me. That's all. Follow me, flow, and understand what I'm saying. As a matter of fact, I too encourage people to understand what I'm saying more better than following my examples. Because you can picture what I'm saying as you follow me. Yes, you can easily. So Glory, you can speak up now if you can.
uh, I was wondering when you was testimony. That's attending class practice
Glory, not allow me to enjoy what you are saying. I was thinking if I could call you and yeah, if I could call you now and I'm not not so audible. right. I can relate with the struggle she's trying to go through, trying to speak up. All right. Let me see if I call this will help. All right. I think that was not favorable to help us to hear, but obviously, I think we had a good class. Everybody will be having access to the videos by the grace of God, and hopefully, can we hear me clearly? Can we hear me? Can we? Yeah, the network was not so good. Um, Looking forward to our next class tomorrow by 5 p.m. and I think it's going to be a nice time. Thank you, everyone. On the system as paper type has been stopped. So, sorry, is it true that paper type has been stopped? Somebody was saying they said they had that paper type has been stopped. I doubt it too. Paper type has been stopped. Where did you hear that from, please? Anybody had that same information? Last week, March, April. Sorry, who had that? I don't think so. Please, let's talk about this. Paper type has been stopped. I want another person to confirm that information. Has anybody tried to book? Has anybody tried to book for May? And then they said paper type has been stopped. Joe, where did you book your own from, Jenny? Wait. You book for July. I doubt that in reality or that information. I don't think paper type has been stopped. I doubt it. Where are you booking from? Tell me where you are booking from. Jenny, where are you booking from? No. Let me know where you're booking from. Are you booking from Lagos? You're booking from all I need to do is this. Very simple. Let me just try and book now and see if I'm able to book BC IELTS. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. All right, let's do a booking together, everyone, and let's see what happens. All right, we can always prove it here. BC IELTS registration. All right, register now. Help up with Chris. Well, I'm currently in the UK. So let me say I want to book from take it, book a test, choose territory, Nigeria. Okay. No. Can we see this? IELTS academic paper or so that's straight. And I'm booking now. IELTS academic. I'm booking academics. It's taking me around again. Nigeria. No. I won't write in May. Choose location. I choose, let me choose Lagos. Okay. Or let me choose Ilorin. So now I'm booking right now. All right, so these are the dates available. I pick 20. Look at it. You will be taking the listening, reading, and writing on. I think this is all I need to say. Jenny, can you see that? Who saw what I just did now? Please, let's be careful what. Now let me see if I will try IDP and see if it works out. IDP, let's see IDP and see if IDP will still. IDP, IELTS registration. Just go ahead and click on that. Register line today. Or book. Let me just book a test. Book now. All right. And then book now. Select module. Okay. Nigeria. Yes. No match. All right. What is this, everyone? Paper-based. All right. Can you see that? So whether it's IDP or now, Jenny, whichever way you did it, all right. Just follow my own method. Look at the way I did my own and follow it. Just click, just type IELTS. UKVI is the ones you do to get a visa, but it's not more relevant to us anymore. You can do the normal IELTS and still go ahead. Just type IELTS BC registration, okay, and search for it. That's all. No need to don't give yourself a zoo of whatever method you have been told. If possible, chat me personally. All right, chat me personally. Let me put you through it. Because some people may want to use that one to now get some money, and then they advise you, turn you into a kind of a special method, and then before you know it, everything's scattered. And that is because of those days. Paper step, you know what you said was that paper has been stopped. That is not true. Paper-based test has not been stopped. There's no formal information about that. All right. It may not be available on the dates you mentioned. Yeah, but paper test has not been stopped. Did you get my point now? That's my own primary focus of discussion. Paper test has not been stopped. That's my own major argument here. It has not been stopped. There's no formal information about it. You may not find it at the timing that you want to write it, but it has not been stopped. Is that right? So thanks everyone. What is the difference between IDP and British Council? It's just like difference between WAEC and difference between WAEC and JAMB, you know, that kind of thing. Difference between WAEC and JAMB, you know, you just want to ask what's the difference between WAEC and NECO, for example. Yeah, not JAMB. If I say JAMB may not look realistic. So what's the difference between WAEC and NECO? The simple difference is what the the people that are setting the exams, the body. But in IELTS, in IELTS is exactly the same questions. You understand? The same questions. WAEC and NECO are the same. So unlike WAEC and NECO that has different questions, it's the same question. So, but they have different markers, different bodies, but it's the same question. Do you understand? There could even be different marking scheme, but it's the same question. Do you understand? So no difference apart from, I think there are even three. There's one IELTS Australia. There's another one called IELTS Australia. Okay. So IELTS Australia, IELTS Cambridge. In fact, there are even four. There's Cambridge, there's British Council, there's IELTS Australia, there's IDP. You understand? So anyone you write is the same question, but different markers. And obviously, I think they work with the same principle of marking. So how many of us enjoyed the class today? And if I may ask, let me just do a poll. If you want us to continue having the YouTube stream, you want us to continue with the YouTube stream, just write YouTube stream. And if you feel that we should just continue with our little gentle, beautiful, little Zoom classes that we have been having, write it as well. Just that we will now make the YouTube stream to be closed so people cannot access it. It's not going to be public. Some people may have said they enjoyed the YouTube stream better than that they enjoyed the YouTube stream better, and they were able to engage it more. You understand? So, but I'd like to know your thoughts. What do you think? I'm trying to look at the live chat so I can see what people are saying. So my contact. I saw people writing YouTube stream. Oh my god! If you want to join the YouTube stream, just chat the number there, and then we can move. So this is my first YouTube live stream ever, and I feel so honored to host you. Thank you very much. We get to see much later. Bye for now.